What's going on, ghosts and ghouls? It's Logan Myers back here for Cinephellas.com, and tonight we're talking about a great film from 1982 that's stacked with horror movie icons. I'm talking about George Romero's Creepshow from 1982. This film was written by Stephen King, the master of horror, directed by Romero. Tom Savini did the makeup and special effects. Shit! And not to mention all the actors in this film. We have Leslie Nielsen, Ted Danson, Adrienne Barbeau, Holbrook, Tom Atkins. I mean, it's stacked. And it's a film I really didn't see for a long time until recently, and it brought back all the best memories. So at the beginning of the film, we have Tom Atkins playing a dad. He finds that his son's reading a horror comic, a horror trash, and he's all pissed off and takes it away. And the kid looks out the window, and it's the host of Creepshow, the skeleton. And it leads into the comic. It's all like animation. It's really cool, like 50s style comic. And it leads into the stories. This is an anthology film, much like, you know, the recent movie I talked about, Trick or Treat. It's in that same format. There's 5 different stories in this film. The first story in the film is a really good one. It's about a father that was murdered, and he returns from the grave as a zombie to get his Father's Day cake that he never received from his murderous daughter. You know, some really great zombie practical effects in the first story. The second one is a really great one too. It stars Stephen King as a redneck out in a farm, and a meteor crashes and it's oozing this liquid. And anything it comes in contact with will become a green plant-like substance, including the old redneck Stephen King himself. And Stephen King acting was just really great in this film. I don't know if he was all coked out, I'm guessing so, but he was really great in this role. Not to mention he wrote the film and these stories, and there's a great Easter egg in this story as well. You see a sign and it says Castle Rock at the top, so obviously we all know Castle Rock and Stephen King. The third story is with Leslie Nielsen and Ted Danson. Leslie Nielsen, you know, the comedic genius, great actor from such films as Airplane, and we all know that. Leslie Nielsen's a vengeful husband. He finds out his wife's cheating on him with Ted Danson's character, so he confronts him. He brings his wife and Ted Danson to the beach to bury them in sand, and Ted Danson and his wife are up to their heads in sand and waiting for the tide to come in so he can kill them. And Leslie Nielsen has a camera set up so he can watch this from home as the tides come in and drown his wife and her lover. And this is a really great story, and just seeing how twisted Leslie Nielsen really is. And at the end of the story, it kind of turns on him. It doesn't turn out the way you expect it to. And then fourth story is a creature feature, and you can definitely tell it was Tom Savini written all over it. In terms of the monster, it's called The Crate. There's a crate discovered under a stairway, and it's a monster that lives inside, and some really great practical effects work by Mr. Savini. And this one's pretty gory. There's some really great gore scenes and some mutilation. And the fourth story has Holbrook and Adrienne Barbeau. It's like a reunion from The Fog. The fifth story is probably the weakest story in the whole anthology of the film. It's based around this older gentleman and cockroaches, and that's about it. It kind of ends the film on a bland note. Overall, I really love Creepshow. You know, as a movie I watched as a kid, and you know, rewatching it recently, it definitely still holds up to this day. And it was just a great overall film with a lot of horror icons in this film, including George Romero, Stephen King, Tom Savini in the cast. I'm going to give 1982's Creepshow a 4.5 out of 5. Skeleton pieces. If you guys have not seen this film and are a huge fan of the horror genre as much as I am, definitely go check out Creepshow. You won't be disappointed. It's definitely a staple of the early 1980s in horror. This is Logan Myers signing out from the Creepshow comic. Until next time, cheers!